Welcome back to Bump Love. We are talking transitioning our babies from diapers to being able to use the potty or the toilet. And we're back with our guest co-host Priscilla Nasu Namsinguzi. So happy to have of Mamanze. So if you are on Instagram, please do go look out for her. You're on Facebook as well, right? No, you're not. But you do have a YouTube channel.
Yes, I do.
Where she shares a lot of mom content. So if you're a mom and you want, ideas on how you can raise your children, potty training being one of them, please do go follow her on YouTube and on Instagram. Instagram, Mamanze, as well as YouTube, right? Yes. All right. Thank you for being back here. We are still continuing with our conversation. Earlier on, we were talking about telltale signs of using, transitioning our children from using diapers, how to know that they are ready. And there was so much to learn. So if you haven't watched that episode, first start there, then you come back to this one. So let's go to when a parent should worry, because I think there are some parents who stretch this thing to they will learn eventually. At what age or at what point should a parent worry that maybe they need help or that the method they're employing is not working?
If your child has absolutely no control and they can't tell that they've peed or they've pooped, like there's
What does that mean?
It's a medical problem now. Yes, it's now a medical problem. They don't have control over that muscle, and so you might need to actually see a ped about it, where you see a child walking and their pants are wet, because usually when you're peeing, you kind of have to you have to kind of concentrate a bit and then release. But this one is walking and bursting. You might need to see a doctor about it, because there might be a problem. For me, that's the major one. And then the other one, like I shared earlier, if your child can communicate, and let's say they've learned poo and pee, and they are not doing it, it's probably I don't want to say it's defiance, but there's something wrong with how you're doing it. There's a problem. You should seek help.
I want to go on record to tell moms, potty toilet training takes a lot of patience. Teachers have a lot of patience, but they also have other kids that they need to look. So please, as a favor to yourself and to your child, do it at home, at your pace, at their pace, where you're going to give them the full attention. And it's just better that way, because you also don't want to traumatize your child or to traumatize, the teachers. You guys, I had an incident where my daughter was potty trained, but the first days of school, I think it was nerves about speaking up to go to the bathroom, and she went on herself. And it happened to be that day I hadn't packed an extra change of clothes. So when the teacher told me, first and foremost, she was so nervous about telling me, so I could sense that she felt like she had failed me in a way. So you don't want to put that on a teacher. They have other responsibilities.
But also the teacher shouldn't allow the children to go on themselves. Let me talk. Let me educate also that teachers. You should have signs that your entire class uses to communicate their need to use the toilet. And you as a parent, find out what that sign is so that you also use it at home. Yes, please. Yes. Let us be.
Do you want to give an example of a sign, or is that too much?
What was this?
Oh, okay. So when
this is when I need to go to the toilet.
Okay, so they just
release
do that?
me. Yes, release me for the toilet, and you go. As long as the child does this, because we have different signs. We have this, we have this, we have this. As the child does this, they are ready for the toilet. And so you can, if you see many lifting, you say, okay, all of us, let's get up and use the toilet. Yes.
But what happens in situations that, and I know this is happening a lot, mothers these days don't stay home much.
That's true.
And the truth is, also the schools are charging an arm and a leg. So I'm thinking, I'm going out, I'm going to work, I'm paying I don't know how many dollars, and then you're saying you're not going to potty train my child.
Should be part of the package. You train that kid.
Especially in creche.
No. In the creche, yes.
Creche, yes.
That's one of the things I've been.
But in school,
but in school, they should be going to be educated. But also by 3 years old, if your child is not potty trained, I'm gonna potty train you as a parent, because it's not fair for your 3-year-old not to be able to communicate that they need that toilet unless they have a learning challenge, like they have autism, they have ADHD, and so the communication. But even then, you should have used signs. I know you've been asking me for an age, surely 3. No,
there should be like a scene.
Like 3.
Yeah, there we should. And then
what do you say to people who, for example, you're bedwetting until 7, 8, 9?
No, bedwetting I think is a whole...
I mean, of course, that's definitely a condition.
whole conversation. But we did a show on bedwetting.
Yes,
so we should... It should be in the description box or somewhere up here. Please go and watch that show on bedwetting. Yeah.
What would you say is a basic strategy? Because I know, like, now, if I were watching this episode, I'd be like, they've talked about so many things. I just want, give me an outline of, now you start here, then you move here. Then when you reach here and nothing is happening, there's a problem. Start again. So give me a basic strategy on how to transition my child from a diaper into being able to use.
Before the professionals speak, I just want to say a strategy that I employ.
Yes.
Actually, in my day-to-day life, it's called the 20-60-80 rule. So children, all parents, actually adults and children alike, but mostly children, they pick more, they learn more through hearing, seeing, and doing. 20% of what sticks is what they heard. 60% of what sticks is what they heard and what they saw. 80% of what sticks is what they saw, what they heard, and what they did, were able to do. So my strategy when it came to potty training was, the first one, I would talk, I would communicate really. Like it was, even when because children, they can know what you're saying. Maybe they can't talk back. It's like a language. Speaking a language, children will usually understand what you're saying, but they may not be able to speak back to you, but they'll know what you're saying. So I would speak to him about it and say, now it's time. And mine was the 1-year mark really. So I would speak to him about it and I said, now it's time to go to the potty. I had my potty, bought a nice fancy potty, but I think one of the things I decided was to keep it in the toilet.
Not in the corridor.
Not in the corridor.
Not in the sitting room.
I even see people in balconies.
And you can't keep changing the location, because if a child is non-verbal and they communicate and you don't get it or you're distracted, they should be able to find the potty. So if today it's in the toilet and tomorrow it's in the bedroom and then it's on the balcony, that child is going to be so frustrated.
And sometimes, there are those donkey potties or whatever potties. That child moves with them. Like this, they think it's just a toy that I can move. So it should also be a thing that and to also avoid this problem of they learn something, then you have to unlearn it. You don't want to tell them that no, you can't just put anywhere. You have to go to the toilet. So I'd always put it in the toilet and keep talking. And then when it came, I would sit also. And we'd do together. And that came through. So my bigger strategy also was, I started to time, to know when he needed to go, and then I would say, let's go. And I would also time myself. I would also drink some water, because I have to pee. When we're in the toilet, I don't want to just sit on the toilet. I want to pee, and he knows that I'm peeing and he's there, and I'm also here and he's peeing. And then allowing him to do it. So you see, parents become impatient. We're all working. Then you just put baby back the diaper, or you don't, but you have to consistently allow the child to keep there and be patient. Stay there with the child, or whoever is doing it. If it's not you,
which is why you can't do it in school. Rather, when the child is ready to go to school. Because then you don't have time.
It's always prepare him before the child leaves the house to go for schooling or anything. So mine really 20, 60, 80 rule. And now the professionals can.
Now that you mentioned that, sometimes when you give analogies, have you noticed that if someone gives you directions to a place, it's one thing. When you drive to a place, someone is driving you, it's a different thing. When you drive yourself, so I think that actually makes sense. Now with Asante, I said with the boys it was really early. With Asante, she also had a dog. And doggy would always come and pee in the bathroom as well.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yes.
I told you condition.
Everywhere else,
like
it would come.
Yes,
it would come and pee. And this is what, maybe 15, going to be 16 years. But when I saw the topic, so we're told to research. So last night I was just falling asleep while listening, and everything this lady was telling me is what we did, but we simply didn't know. And I think it was called the 3-day something. But what we did with Asante is that we took off her thingies during that period. No, her bottom clothes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Left her to run free and wild.
So the only thing that I think that was different is I put potties in different places.
Yeah, that's what.
So wherever you do.
Wherever you find
Yes. Now it was the doggy that made her do in the bathroom.
Can you imagine?
Because you find them sitting there, she's on the kathingi, he's there, and they're doing
So
their
cute.
So
the dog
just
people
picturing.
train that sound.
Yes.
We should just get dogs. The condition, the dogs communicate.
Yeah.
Okay, as a mom who's not, but Pumla, you said professionals. Okay, I'm a professional mom. Let me put it like that. Through trial and error and research and experience, I got with the last child I potty trained, I had a strategy. I first and foremost knew about readiness because he had already shown me before when I was trying to push and he wasn't ready. Then the second time round, I knew to look out for the clues. One of the things that Manuela had touched on, I think, was they're shy when they've done it in the diaper. So you'll know your child has done it if they're hiding away from you or if they go somewhere and you're trying to call your child and they won't come to
They're
you.
there behind that table.
So that's also another telltale sign. So readiness, I looked out for the signs and they were there. Then I decided on what I was going to use, equipment, in terms of the potty that I wanted to use, what rooms I was going to put it in, because we have a double storied, I wanted a bathroom, one bathroom down and one bathroom up that he would know, loose clothing that he can easily remove himself, like Angie had mentioned, and then we started. Because I started with him older, I had to use the timing method. So it was wake up, go, set a timer. In the next 30 minutes, I'm going to ask, or I slowly taught him to tell me, when you need to go, come and tell mommy. But when he wouldn't tell me, I would have my timer and then I'd know that it's time, let's go. And then to go, Pumla mentioned, to go and actually sit and do the entire process with him. Another thing that I found helped me so much was the praise. You have to heap praise. You have to sing. I got the entire household to do a song and dance. When he actually managed to go, it was like a full production. So it had to be a whole thing and he got so into it. And then there was the reward after things went well. Of course, you're going to have those situations where someone is going to streak while they're pooing and poo everywhere. Oh, Lord. Please, guys, don't punish a child for accidents. Don't punish a child for those moments, because if you find out later that they're going through something that you didn't realize, it's going to really hurt you. And it will do something to your child as well. So, and another thing that I found was really important in this strategy, the entire household has to know what we are doing.
They have to be
Everyone has to be
Even where you
involved.
take them,
Yes.
over the weekend.
Every single person has to know, they have to be on the same page with you. Otherwise, if you step out of the house, it's done. And once it's done that one time, you're off. You're thrown off. So it can be really frustrating. Another thing that I would say is strategic is to listen to your child. If they're verbal and they start to tell you, I need to, whatever you're doing, drop it and go. Your child needs to trust that when they need you to help them in that time, you're going to be available. Otherwise, if you're not available, it defeats the entire purpose, because then they're going to stop to tell you, because mommy doesn't listen. Mommy doesn't listen. She doesn't care. So then the reward, the treats. You guys, I had treats. I had a jar with sweeties. I'm sorry, I'm one of those moms. Because there are days when it is frustrating. There are days when it's so frustrating. So I had treats. You go and buy with cheap key holders and little toys and little crinkly things and things, balloons. And they make them so happy once they get, that one thing for doing this deed. This deed. And then, you guys, I don't know if you felt it, but I found potty training a girl easier than I did with my boys. I don't know if it's a thing. I don't want to go on record to say it's a thing, but that was the case for me. So if you have little boys, part of the strategy that you need to have is how to assist them to aim into the
Mothers,
Yeah.
where are you?
Yeah.
Don't give us your sons when they are old.
Banang.
Aim.
It's a
Teach them when
thing.
they are young.
So there's a target, there's a P target that you can put in your toilet for bougie moms. But also if you can't afford to do that, another trick I realized is if you face him backwards on the seat, on the toilet. Remember when they are sitting like this, if they're doing number 2, it will go in. If they're doing number 1, it's going to come to you. So if you face him, if you turn him the other way, they are going to do it directly. Or if they don't do it directly, it's going to limit the arc. Yes. So that's another thing that I did. And I realized once I did that, he really liked it. He really liked it, and it became like he was on a horse. Yes, like it was a horse. It was part of a game. And then another thing that I realized is really huge is when you're potty training your child, toilet etiquette is something that you should include in the process. You guys, I used to work, and when I used to work, there were adult people who did not know how to use the toilet correctly, and it broke my heart every day. So your child needs to be conditioned from this age that when you're finished, what do you do next?
And to add to that, actually, if anyone ever has a conversation with you and tells you, don't reprimand him when he doesn't, but praise him when he does, then you shouldn't be praising.
That's true.
Do you get that? If you ever have a place where for everything you reward, you should also be able to
Reprimand.
So if someone comes to you and says
don't reprimand.
But when they don't do it, no, that means that praise is not valid. It shouldn't be there. But I want to, the challenge I want to speak is specifically to the single moms. And it's mostly on who are raising boys. Again, back to the 20-60-80 rule. I can't pee like a man. Not for no life of God.
I tried though.
I can't pee like a man. We've tried. I've seen those hookups about what.
No, real live.
Yes, I think you've shared with us on the show, yes, that you've tried before. But otherwise, it's unnatural. That's not how we do things. And also, the natural thing. So, I've met men, I've met men who actually pee seated.
Yes.
But when I've gone reading and I was wondering, so what if he just grows up and pees seated? There shouldn't be a problem. But when you read on it, two things. One, health-wise, it's not because of that arc that they do. So they are always forced to push down. So you're working a muscle against its natural, what do they call it?
Natural weight.
It's natural. So like every time you go, you're forcing it down, and you have to force it down from up here, not the way when they're standing and they're holding and then they're directing. So there's that whole health issue. The second one is how Angie was telling us, when you go like the latrine move, when you go and sit in a latrine, that's how we are supposed to poop. Generally, when you're in the toilet, it doesn't flow out as well. It's the same thing for men. When they do it when they're seated, the bladder doesn't empty fully. So that's why they have to do it when they're standing. So that's a challenge single women are going to find when they're raising sons. But it's the same principle that we always say, that put your child in the company of men. For here and there. And let me tell you about men. Boys, it's something I know about boys and men. A woman, you the mother, you can tell a boy something 20 times, he will not do it.
That's true.
Random border guy just stands up to pee in the bush, your son will do it.
Very true.
And that's what happened to Tesla. The gatekeeper just went. Actually, I think the gatekeeper potty trained my kid. The gatekeeper would just go, there was a latrine, and he would just enter, he wouldn't close the whatever. And I found my son Bernard, who could have fallen in a thing. Someone you're insisting, you go on the potty, do on the thing, and no, I found him peeing there in the latrine. Wow. Yeah, and he was like just over 2 years maybe. And he would,
because he had seen a
man do it. And he knows that person is like me. This woman who is no, that's not saying. No, it's not getting. So again, as you do single women, single moms, put your children in the company of men around, just to teach them the basics, the foundation, and then let them see how they are fellow gender.
Yes, that's true. That's true. And they'll answer so many other questions for them, because I think both my sons started out sitting while they were peeing, and then eventually, because there were things that came up, things like, oh my God, my susu is itching, I'd be like, I would puzzle over that a few days, and I'd be like, go to daddy. Then I tell him, your son is experiencing this, please talk to him. And then he will he took them through that final process on how, you know, there are things that because you don't do it that way, you don't know, you don't understand.
And talk. And they need to see and understand.
Wow.
Thank you for capturing that. It's a huge one. I took it for granted.
Dominantly. And so it's inevitable. It was a challenge.
Milestones for one person might mean
No, we're
basic.
saying natural. No,
Yeah.
no. I'm keeping
Now
it
that
very
you mentioned the
basic,
millennials, I think we should have a topic.
we need to
on
talk
that.
about that.
will.
Yeah, everyone
Yeah.
complains about them, but I
Millennials,
think
yeah.
Nobody's doing
the way they are at that age
Is
is
because-
exactly
yeah.
how we were.
No.
And our parents complained about
But we
the
are
same
millennials,
things.
you know.
Yes,
Yeah,
I'm
we
saying
are,
that's
yeah.
true.
Our
I'm just
millennials.
saying the older you grow, you always look down and you say, what kind of habits are these? But if you asked your parents,
They would
they'll
say
say,
the
but that's
same.
exactly what
How
you
you
used
were.
to do. The only difference is that you're looking at it from a different angle.
More experience, more exposure.
I'm sure we'll talk about
We'll talk
Let's
about
talk
that.
about
We'll
it,
talk about that.
because-
Sure.
See how we've been digressed to millennials. We've been talking about transitioning.
That's Angie for you. That's Angie.
But thank you for that. It makes me think.
Thank you. I hope that we've been able to help you in some shape or form on how to do this with your babies. Like we said at the beginning, it's a challenging journey. You're going to meet challenges, but don't give up.
Yeah, and
Don't
remember,
give up.
Molfix Diapers is here for you, to work with you, to partner with you in your process of helping your child eliminate. Use in a natural process of elimination. And if you're looking for a great partner, Molfix is the one for you. Available at all supermarkets, even your Kaduka, Molfix is available for you. I can't wait to talk about you guys. See you in the comment section. Guys, you guys,
We love
you
your
guys, we love your
comments.
Yes, we do.
they are quite, they are quite something. And I
do.
guess everybody's going to be excited to have Angie for this show. Every time Angie is here, they're like, oh my gosh,
Angie's back.
Yeah, Angie's back.
What's she saying? What's she saying?
What's she saying? I agree with Angie. Even before she says. So
Team
we hear
Angie.
you, we see you, we can't wait to see you in the comment section. Until next time, with love from Bump Love.